Preliminary indications are that the train was traveling at 80 miles per hour in a 30-mile-per-hour track.
Tragedy in DuPont this morning. More questions than answers after this deadly Amtrak train derailment, and the impact will be felt for days and weeks to come.
And we have all the latest details, especially those that have been coming in just before midnight from investigators, as well as the changes to your morning commute. That's all coming up. We have a crew that's been on the scene all night. Jake and Amity are there with big developments, beginning with the removal of the train cars.
Yeah, that's right. They are starting and working really hard to remove those train cars and cars that were on the highway right now.
Yeah, it's still just a mess. Haven't seen a whole lot of movement, probably not unusual for such a massive operation in the last hour here, but overnight they are removing those cars one by one. Contractors specifically that deal with derailments are here on scene. The cranes are called sidewinders. They're basically big cats with weights on the opposite end to try to strategically get these out of here. Obviously not something that happens every day, but those cars will then be placed in a secure location where the NTSB will be investigating over the coming days, weeks, and months.
And that's right. And then here's what we know so far right now. At least 3 people have been killed, dozens injured. The train derailed around 7:30 yesterday morning. The derailment happened near DuPont, where the tracks cross Interstate 5. Each of the 12 passenger cars in the train derailed, and most were violently tossed around, coming to rest pretty far from the rail or at an angle over the tracks. 5 vehicles additionally were hit by the falling train cars, including 2 tractor trailers. These are big rig semis. And although those train cars have started to be removed, southbound Interstate 5 is still closed and will be for the immediate future.
Now, as we mentioned at the top of the show and knew from overnight, the NTSB now says that this train was traveling at 80 miles per hour in a 30-mile-per-hour zone as it approached that curve.
So the train's speed and the posted speed limit are going to be huge factors in the investigation for the NTSB. And joining us now is Bella Dinh-Zarr with the NTSB. Thank you for being with us this morning. You know, the first question on everybody's mind is, have you spoken with the engineer yet?
We have not. This is our first full day on scene, so we'll hope to speak to him today or tomorrow, and with the rest of the crew as well.
Yeah, you have to go through one by one interview and get the piece of the puzzle here. So the train can obviously not handle that curve going 80 miles per hour. That seems to be the cause of the crash. How did you determine that?
Well, we don't state the probable cause until we've looked at every factor, but we're certainly going to look at speed as a factor because we were fortunate enough to be able to look at the event data recorder, which was secured from the rear locomotive. The train, this 12-car train, had a front and a rear locomotive, and we were able to get data from one of them so far.
Essentially a black box.
Yes.
Okay.
And how much, when you are looking into this investigation, there's a lot of people who have been asking about positive train control. Was that a factor? Do we have that here in this site?
Positive train control is an excellent safety tool. It's an overlay over the regular signal protection, signal system of all trains. And what we're trying to find out is exactly how and where and if positive train control was implemented here. I suppose the shameful part, the disappointing part, is that positive train control should have been implemented nationwide long ago, and it hasn't been. And perhaps that's one reason why many people have been losing their lives in recent years.
Well, and just to be clear to the viewers at home, positive train control is essentially a mechanism that will alert the driver or even take control of the train, right, if it sees that it's going too fast.
Exactly. It can slow or stop a train if it's going too fast.
Okay. So what's the plan for the rest of the day today? Are they going to get all these cars out of here? What do you know about how this day will unfold?
So our investigators have been on scene since yesterday. More have arrived last night, and we will have our full complement of our full go team out looking at everything from operations to mechanics, looking at the braking system, looking at the track itself, as well as survival factors and human performance. And part of that is actually, we hope, interviewing.
Okay. And how long do you think that actually will take?
We're usually on scene for 7 to 10 days, but after that's over, we take a lot of the evidence back to our headquarters in Washington, D.C., or we look at it here in a secure location.
An investigation likely lasting months?
Months, up to a year, sometimes even longer. We're very careful to make sure we give the most accurate answer so that we can clearly say what was the cause and prevent it from happening again.
Okay. Bella Dinh-Zarr with the NTSB. Thanks for being here. We know you have a very busy day. All right, appreciate your time. So there you go. Investigation lasting quite some time. They're going to hope to interview that train engineer at some point today.
And again, there were dozens of people on this train. If you're worried about your loved one, Amtrak has set up a number for friends and family to call. Here's the number on your screen. It's 1-800-523-9101. 1-800-523-9101. We have that number on king5.com as well, along with a lot of information. If you need to know anything right now, king5.com is where you need to go.